Uncertainty, tension and suspense. From the very start, the tracking shots of the toys on the shelf and the photographs on the wall make the audience very uneasy because they don't know what is to follow, and having these objects in the condition they're in isn't considered normal. The starting shot of the picture frame with the scratched out faces only gives the insight that whoever it belongs to has psychotic tendencies. The teddies and dolls may hint that the owner is a female youth. This, however, tells the audience nothing of the storyline, and so they would be intrigued to watch on to see what does happen, as there is continuous tense atmosphere supported by a high-pitched, discomforting tone of the soundtrack.
It's hard not being noticed. Millions.
Familiar locations. When we discover that the location is Harper's bedroom, teens should be able to relate, as stereotypically that's where teenagers spend most of their time. Therefore, the audience should feel comfortable when watching this scene. However, they don't, as there's something not right, creepy and sadistic about the situation, so it makes them feel uncomfortable, but in a good way, and so it will create the tense atmosphere that the audience enjoy.
Or even relationships, just at the click of a button. Why can't one person just look at me? Just acknowledge that I...
Having an attractive leading male character. We made sure that we had a good-looking lead male character in the film, as we learnt this is a trick used by film companies to draw audiences in, and it seems to work. For example, Channing Tatum in Magic Mike and Dear John, Robert Pattinson and Taylor Lautner in Twilight, and Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. All of these films have seemed to do really well as a result of large audiences seeing it, with some just watching it because they fancy or like the actor. Of course, it also works the same with female actresses such as Mila Kunis in Ted and Friends with Benefits, Megan Fox in Transformers, and Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Why can't that one person be Tyler Roberts? But no, that's never going to happen, because I, Harper Holmes, am not pretty enough or remotely appealing enough to even talk to. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of loving someone who's never going to love me back. But why should anyone else have it? Especially that fake, imbecile excuse of a girl.
The dialogue. Jealousy is an emotion every teen can relate to, and so they can relate to the harsh dialogue that can be heard in the voiceover when describing Riley.
Why should anyone else have it? Especially that fake, imbecile excuse of a girl.
They can also relate when Harper describes herself with the feeling of not being good enough.
I, Harper Holmes, am not pretty enough or remotely appealing enough to even talk to.
This will make the audience sympathise and connect with Harper. People are more likely to go and see a film if they can relate to the character in it. A blonde female villain. The stereotypical thriller villain is a dark-haired male, and so when we introduce our blonde-haired female villain Harper, it subverts their expectations, as females are supposed to be more innocent, and blonde characters are typically the victims. This will make the audience interested in the character and her story and motives, and would encourage an audience to watch it.
They say happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. That's not true. I've given up with dealing with them. It's time for me to make my problems absent.
Similar aged characters. As our film is certified a 15, its target audience's age range is 15 to 24. Therefore, the ages of the characters are 17 and 18, so they are youthful, like our audience. People are more likely to watch a film if the main characters are the same or similar age, as they can feel that they can connect with the characters and understand them.
Come on then, you. It's getting cold. It's getting summer.
It should be me in that tent with him.
Familiar situations. Similar to the familiar locations point, the fact that Tyler and Riley are camping is something our youthful audience should relate to, as stereotypically camping is a popular activity for teenagers. The audience should therefore feel comfortable with this scene. However, they don't, as they are aware that something bad is going to happen, and the tense atmosphere is created again, which is something they enjoy.
It should be me in that tent with him. You brought this on yourself.
Twists and shocks. With the help of the sudden change of music and time of day, the audience are wondering where Harper is and why she's there. As she starts walking, we realise she's in the same field. This is a twist and may shock the audience, but should enjoy it, as our young audience will like something that shocks them.
You brought this on yourself. You've been part of my problem the whole of my life by ignoring me. Maybe it's time people should start taking notice.
Having a cliffhanger. The cliffhanger in our film is it finishing with Harper just looking at the tent, containing Tyler and Riley, with her holding the baseball bat, just before it cuts to the titles. Because it ends there, the audience are left to make their own decisions on what happens, and so they would want to watch on to see what actually does happen.
Maybe it's time people should start taking notice.